Hello everyone, this is God in the Center with Matthew. Today is my birthday, March 15th, 1982 was when I was born, and I decided to go into Proverbs chapter 15 today. That's where the Lord took me to today, and it's a really good chapter. You know, it wasn't, it's just what the Lord spoke to me today, so I'm going to start reading on verse 1. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The tongue of the wise uses knowledge rightly, but the mouth of fools pours forth foolishness. The eyes of the Lord is in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. So he's watching over the evil and the good, and he's talking about what comes out of our mouth, you know, and I got to watch myself, and I think people watching needs to watch the stuff that comes out of their mouth. Negativity, the power of the tongue is very, 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 very real. You can speak negative energy, and you'll get back negative energy, and you can speak bad things and bad things. You can also speak positive things and positive things. I've touched on this before. It's all through the Bible about like what comes out of our mouth, and we have to watch what comes out of our mouth because you know it's in here. That's what God's talking about here. I'm gonna go on to verse 4. A wholesome tongue here we go. Wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit. So it's saying wholesome tongue is a tree of life. So for us to speak positive things and don't talk dirty or provocative or speak like God's in the room, so to speak. You know, he says he's watching over the good and the evil, so he's watching us, and he wants us to do right. You know, it says perverseness breaks the spirit. You know, and I'm guilty. I'm guilty of being perverse at times. I wish that I could say that I'm not, but it's part of this flesh we live in. This bag of bones. It sometimes it desires evil. You know, so we're gonna go on to verse 5 now. A fool despises his father's instructions, but he who receives correction is prudent. You know, so when we despise, our Father's instruction, He is our Father. We also have earthly fathers and stuff, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they tell you to do something then it's just set in stone. But it says a fool despises his father's instructions. So there's been more times than not that my dad has told me something, and I've not listened, and I've regretted it. You know, so there is some truth to that, and he's also talking about the Father above, us keeping keeping His instructions, and don't despise them. Verse 6: In the house of the righteous there is much treasure, but in the revenue of the wicked is trouble. The tips of the wise despise knowledge, or the lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but the heart of the fool does not do so. So again, it's talking about what's coming out of our mouth. It says the lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but the heart of a fool does not do so. Verse 8: The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is a delight. The way of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but He loves him who follows righteousness. So we as Christians are supposed to follow after righteousness. Now, are we always going to be fully righteous? No, that's why Jesus came and died on the cross to where we can get into heaven. We have a fighting chance to actually get in heaven now. Does that mean we have a free passage wherever we want to, whenever we want to? No, it doesn't. It says for us to follow after righteousness. He who loves Him follows righteousness. It doesn't matter if somebody's wicked. He don't care. He don't care what they're doing. If you're a wicked person and you haven't got God in your heart, maybe you did something good for somebody, but he don't really even acknowledge it so much because you've got a wicked heart. Maybe you've actually got some altered motive for doing the nice thing. I don't know. I can't exactly tell you, but it says, but he who loves him follows righteousness. So if we love Jesus like we say we do, we should follow after righteousness. Like I said, we all get caught up in some negativity or some filthy stuff. We're going into verse 10. Harsh discipline is for him who forsakes the way, and he who hates correction will die. Hell and destruction are before the Lord. So how much more the hearts of the sons of men? The scoffer does not love one who corrects him, nor will he go to the wise. I've been in that particular situation to where I still sometimes don't like to be corrected. I don't think nobody necessarily likes to be corrected, but acknowledging when somebody corrects you and you acknowledge you're wrong, that's what we need to do. We need to acknowledge we're wrong and try to work on doing better. So we're going to go to verse 13 now. A merry heart makes a cheerful conscience, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken. The heart of him who has understanding seeks knowledge, but the mouth of fools feeds on foolishness. So we need to have understanding, and we need to seek after knowledge. The knowledge is this word, and we need to have understanding. By gathering knowledge, you have to stay in this word, or listen to it from a preacher, or however we need to be fed. We need to be fed the word. Like I'm feeding people right now, the people that are watching, the very few. I've not got that big of an audience, but I've got like a small little congregation, and I don't know who shows up and who don't show up, and it really doesn't matter. I know that the views vary, and I'm just praying that whatever the people that are following or listening are getting fed. That's all it really matters. Is I don't really care how many people is like viewing me as long as they're getting fed properly. This word, that's all it really matters to me. Page or verse 15 now. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but he who is of merry heart has a continual feast. Better is a little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure with trouble. Better is dinner of herbs where love is than a fattened calf with hatred. So he's saying that like material things aren't really as important as like having love for your brother, and your brother having love for you back, your mother having love for your mother, and your mother having love back, your father, anybody we come in contact, it's for us to show love and show compassion, and not try to tear other people down to get ahead. Some of these people in Congress and stuff, that's what they've done. They've hurt a lot of people. They've stepped on all of us. They have stepped on every person in America to get them millions of dollars. They've got them $70 and $80 million on a $200,000 salary. That's the kind of stuff that this verse is talking about. That them people really it's better for us to suffer and for us not to have as much than for us to have obtained that stuff in a wrong, hateful manner. So we can go to verse 18. A wrathful man stirs up strife, but he who is slow to anger allows contention. So that's very true. A wrathful man stirs up strife, and I have been that wrathful man that stirs up strife. I have been that man. And it says, "He who is slow to anger allows contention." It's something you have to work on, that not being easy to anger, because and some people work on the day they die. I've got really a lot better at it. So stuff that used to anger me, and I would show it. I'm getting better at not showing it, but maybe I still have some anger in my heart. So that's the kind of stuff we want to be working on that the day we die, because people just make us mad. People do things to us, and it's just normal for us to be mad and angry, but it's saying for us to be slow to anger. So don't just burst out, don't act out immediately. Think about what the whole situation is, and try not to act out in anger. Verse 19, "The way of a lazy man is like the hedge of thorns, but the way of the upright is a highway." So it's saying that a lazy man, it's actually rougher trying to be lazy. The road's not really easy for a lazy man. But the way of the upright is a highway. And we can have, the highways ain't always perfect, but it's better than going through a hedge of thorns. It's better than driving your vehicle through a hedge of thorns versus on a highway. Now, on a highway, there are sometimes wrecks. There's sometimes breaks and cracks in that highway. But the highway is always going to be better than a hedge of thorns going through it. So just keep that in mind. 21. "Folly is the joy to him who is destitute of discernment, but a man of understanding walks uprightly. Without counsel, plans go away." Without counsel, plans go awry. I don't really know I have to look that word up. But the multitude of counselors, they are established. A man has joy, but the answer of his mouth and the word spoken in due season, how good it is. A man has joy by the answer of his mouth, and the word spoken in due season, how good it is. Sometimes just things aren't don't come. Sometimes things just is due season. Sometimes stuff don't just happen right away. I'm trying to read right now, so I need to get some reading glasses, some better lighting here. We'll go to verse 24. "The way of life winds upward for the wise, that he may turn away from hell below. The Lord will destroy the house of the proud, but he will establish the boundary of the widow. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord, but the words of the pure are pleasant." And there again, they're talking about the words coming out of our mouth. They should be pleasant. And even the thoughts of the wicked is really, really just bad. And I have bad thoughts too sometimes. I feel like I'm wicked sometimes. And I'm sure there's people watching that feels like, am I good or am I bad? It's hard because we was born in this sin. Like I said, that's the only reason why we're able to get into heaven is through Jesus hanging on that cross. It ain't nothing we've done. I've done talked on this for about a month now, that they ain't none of us good. We can work towards that, work towards it, but this flesh we live in is fighting us, our spirit man, to do what it wants to do. And we have to crucify our flesh every day, so to speak, to be what God wants us to be. 27. He who is greedy for gain troubles his own house, but he who hates bribes will live. There again, I'm talking about this. That's where I was getting in them politicians. He who is greedy for gain troubles his own house, but he who hates bribes will live. I don't ever want to be the person that says somebody bought me. Somebody bought me and I did something I knew wasn't right because of money. I pray to God that never happens. Nobody's ever threw no, millions of dollars at me. So I can't say that I'm better than them people because it hadn't, I hadn't been in that situation. I'd like to believe that, though, that I would listen to what God says. And there was a joke going around the kitchen today, and I said I basically agreed that I probably would do something that was really, really not of God in order to obtain money. And now that I think about it, it was really poor judgment. Agreeing with that. And there was only a few people that said that they wouldn't necessarily do that. So I'm glad that joke got told today, because it made me really think. Because now I'm reading this, it made me really think. Sometimes us just joking around talking with other men can be the thing that we're supposed to stand up for. And I sort of felt in that little joke today, trying to follow in the crowd, and some things would be hard to not do for some money. So like I said, I haven't been put in a situation where I get millions of dollars for doing something unethical. I like to think that I'm above that, but I can't tell you that I am until I get put in that situation. And I don't think nobody here can actually say that they would if they was put in a situation until they get put in that situation. 28. The heart of the righteous studies how to answer, but the mouth of the wicked pours forth evil. There again, this talking about what's coming out of our mouth. What's coming out of our mouth. I've got to work on that for sure. 29. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayer of the righteous. The light of the eyes rejoices the heart, and a good report makes the bones healthy. The ear that hears the rebuke of life will abide among the wise, but he who disdains instructions despises his own soul. But he who heeds rebuke gets understanding. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. The preparation of the heart belongs to man, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. So it's just, I think actually that last one was in chapter 16, but it's all about what comes out of our mouth, what we see. They start talking about what we actually see, and how our thoughts are. And then when somebody corrects us, see, I've got a buddy named Greg that used to correct me all the time, and it would make me mad at first when he was doing the correcting, but then later on, I sit there and think about it. It was good. I'm thankful for him. I'm thankful for him. He really is a good friend, and he cares about me. I prayed he's okay. I know he had a situation, and I believe that he's having to go serve a little bit of time for some silly good stuff that actually I had warned him about, and he didn't heed the instruction. He didn't heed the instruction that I gave him. I gave him a clear-cut plan of what to do, like he does me sometimes, and then he did not follow it, so therefore he's having to do a little bit of time. I don't know exactly how much time, but he's having to do a little bit of time over not heeding instruction. That, it was really just a silly, stupid mistake. He didn't do nothing bad in order to, he didn't really do nothing bad, but he did something stupid. And we just got to think about our actions and what's actually going on, and heed our friends' instruction. That doesn't mean you got to listen to every little goober that we know, but true friends and true like family that's really looking out for the best of us, we need to really think this person really does care about me? This person really does love me? They wouldn't be saying this stuff if they didn't believe it to be the right thing. Now, it doesn't mean they're right all the time, but we need to at least think about what they've said and consider what they've said and make a judgment call on that and pray about it. You know, I think if Greg had prayed about this situation that I begged him not to get into, then he wouldn't be in jail right now. Nobody knows his last name, so it doesn't really matter. You know, me using his name, nobody knows what I'm talking about. Maybe there might be one person. Maybe my dad knows what I'm talking about, but you know, it just really sucks sometimes to see people fall. And then I've caught myself, like my dad has told me time and time again different things in the past, and I didn't heed his instruction. My mom the same way, Greg the same way. I've had really good advice given to me, and Matthew didn't heed the warning or heed the advice. That's all I'm telling y'all. Like the Bible's telling us to listen and heed advice from people. You know, and to watch what's coming out of our mouth. Watch what's coming out of our mouth and what we say, and then what we're looking at. It's all part of this whole sinful nature. Like these are the gateways of getting into trouble. So if we can start listening more and not getting angry as quick and just filling out the situation, then we can be more like God by doing that. God's wanting us to be more like Him every day. And I just want to thank God for allowing me to do these videos and for me to have enough, you know, that my brain didn't get burned up when I was out there doing stupid stuff, and that I'm not mentally, that it didn't really mess me up mentally, because I've known people that went down the path I went down that's just never going to be right, and or they're going to just never get over the addiction. So if you're struggling with addiction, whether it be alcohol, whether it be drugs, whether it be anything else, take a long, hard look at yourself and talk to God about it. If you need some prayer, get a hold of me and I'll pray with you. You know, because it mentions something about the prayers of. I've been saved, so I'm not going to try to say that I'm righteous on my own means, but I'm righteous through God. You know, that's the only way that I'm righteous is through the blood. The blood has covered me and made me righteous. It's nothing I've done on my own. That the baptism is what washes away our sins, and we just have to really fight tooth and nail every day to stay on that straight and narrow path. And so if there's anybody out there struggling with addiction or struggling with anything, then get a hold of me. We'll pray. And if you have not been baptized, get a hold of me and we'll get you in some water. It's starting to warm up, and I know we'll figure something out. And I just want to tell each and every one of everybody that's watching, and the people that flip the channel too soon, or people that think that I'm even stupid or that I don't make sense. I just pray that y'all find God, and if y'all have found God, then you keep the journey going, because at any given day we might not be here. God's not promised us. We had bad storms all day, and I just prayed about it, and I was like, just let it be okay. I got stuck at work thinking I was going to get out earlier, and I was fearful. But then I got once I knew I was going to be at work, I sort of had and I prayed. I felt better about the situation, and I'm just glad I have God to talk to and listen to, and I'm glad that that He's my Father, and I'm rambling at this point, but I thank each and every one of y'all that has stayed tuned and listened, and. If you like what you're seeing, like, share, subscribe if you hadn't already subscribed, and tell your friends about me. I'm not in it for no money. I'm just in it to be of service to God and be of service to the community, of the world. And I love each and one of y'all. Have a blessed day.